Hello, good morning. It is the 3rd of March 2025, and once again it appears that a lot of what I've been posting on social media seems to be getting lost in translation. Now, the image you can see at the moment is only visible because in the house that I've been renting for 8 years, there was a burst pipe in this property after I'd already moved in, and the only way you could actually find this burst pipe was when the kickboard in the kitchen went completely rotten and then fell apart. And the wall you can see in this image is the actual main wall to the house. The room that I'm in at the moment, which is the kitchen, is an extension to the property. So if you look over here, you may be able to see some pipework that goes from the main property to the extension, which is what I'm in now. Now, the pipes that actually burst were here. At first, I was extremely worried that they were gas pipes because my oven is electric, but the hob is gas. And you can see that they have done the minimum amount of repairs to this. And they've only replaced the joint that may have potentially burst. And touch wood, I haven't had to worry about anything since. And again, you can see the pipe at the back. Now, when I moved into this property, you would not have seen this wall. This wall was behind the units, back of the unit, which is obviously your bog standard units that you get for any property, and they're made of like MDF or chipboard. My landlord has not bothered to remove any of the screws, because obviously to get to those screws you would have to rip out the entire unit. So again, what happened was, because those pipes burst, the whole of this cupboard got completely wet. Now you're probably thinking, well, if it all got completely wet, how come the base of the cupboard hasn't had to be removed, or that the sides of the cupboard are the same? And the reason for that is because the hole that was in the actual pipe was like a pinhole, and because of the pressure, what it did is it actually spurted out and it hit the main backboard that was there, and it also hit the I can't get my words out today, the shelf that was in here. And everything that I put in cupboards, I always put in boxes. So I'll give you an example if we just stand up. So as you can see, and this isn't a product placement, by the way, so I do apologise, but what I use is like little boxes to put my stuff in on the shelves. That way I can be very conscious about the weight that I'm actually putting in these. And also, if there was a burst pipe, for example, maybe not exactly with these ones because there is holes, but with some of the others, they would have come up to about here. That could be full of water, and until you clean the kitchen, you're not going to know. So once I realised that under here had burst, it was actually connected to the boiler. It took my landlord 8 weeks to fix. He wouldn't pay for a plumber, and this is how it's been left ever since it was repaired. And the only thing that was repaired was the pipe, nothing else at all. So at the moment, what I'm painstakingly doing is putting the kitchen back to how it was originally, as best I can when I first moved in, so that this flooring, which is on the floor here, can be replaced. Now, again, I've had a lot of people on social media saying to me, well, it's an easy floor. You could have just mopped it. You could have just kept it clean. You could have kept it dry. You could have made, everyone seems to have an answer to whatever I post, which is fine, freedom and information and all that. But what you've got to realise is that flooring stops here. And the burst pipe was over there. So how was I supposed to clean the floor when originally this would have had a kickboard in, like here. And the flooring, as you can see, has not been sealed. And it stops there. This floor that is being put in is not covering the entire kitchen. And because it's not covering the entire kitchen, as you can see, this is why whenever there was any burst pipes, not all of the damp was accessible. And the moment any of this did get wet, it started to lift, as you can see. The only reason this is quite hard at the moment is because I've had a heater on, just basically to dry it out. But again, if we look here, this is the mould that was found last week. And again, the floor stops. Originally, when I moved in, you couldn't see this pipe work. And if I could have seen this pipe work, I never would have rented this house. When I moved in, this had a kickboard, it had shelving, there was a backboard, so again, I couldn't see the wall, and it had a door that closed. So, apart from the plants, the boiler is brand new, that's 2 years old. The original boiler was bigger and more outdated. But the problem I was having when my boiler was serviced was that this little pressure valve here kept dropping to there. And I just got told, oh, you need to bleed the radiators. So I'd bleed the radiators to make sure there wasn't any air in the system. And it would still, every couple of days, drop to 0. So when my old boiler was serviced, I queried this with the plumber, and they said, have you seen any signs of any leakage from any of the pipes or any of the radiators? And I said no, because I hadn't at the time. And it wasn't until I'd been here, there should be a date on there. So this is 2021 was when this boiler was put in. And so that is when I had a new boiler put in. So up until 2021, every time that pressure dropped in my old boiler, it was because the pipes had burst on the central heating system. And again, these are the pipes to the central heating system. These are the pipes to the central heating system, and they run all behind the oven, all under this kickboard, all under there. Here, through this wall, out to the main house, and the rest of the pipework is under the stairs or built in so that it's not accessible. So when they said, oh, have you got a burst pipe on your central heating system, without being able to fully access every single pipe that is linked to my boiler, there was no way until the water literally started dripping or, showing signs of there being a burst pipe, did I know. So this is why maintaining your central heating system, making sure your boiler is serviced every year, and that you know where all the pipes are, if possible, whether you own the property or you're renting it, is very important. And so is making sure that once any pipes have burst, that the area is checked for signs of damp and mould, and if there is anything like that, that it is treated straight away. Whereas in the house I am renting, none of the kitchen, where the main burst pipes have taken place, has ever been treated. All I've been told is, oh, the pipe's fixed, and then they've left.